Hey Scrabble fans, Will Anderson here. Everybody knows when you get sick, you call a doctor. But when things go wrong in a game of Scrabble, there's nobody to call. Until now, because Doctor Scrabble is here. I'm here to help you with maladies such as vowelitis, consonant overload, stuffed up boards, fuzzy board vision, and anything else Scrabble related on your mind. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Doctor Scrabble. Not an actual doctor, but I am here to answer any questions that you guys may have about difficult positions in your games on Scrabble Go, or just general questions about the game of Scrabble. And you can see I am new and improved this week with my actual official Doctor Scrabble lab coat. So we'll see if that makes any difference. But we have a great question for you guys today, and it is from none other than Joshua Hunt, who was featured in the first episode of Dr. Scrabble. So without further ado, let's get into it. He's got a great question for us today. All right, let's dive in and look at this position. It's a cool one. So you can see Joshua is up by almost 30 points. His opponent has just played 5 in the lower left part of the board for a very nice 37-point score, making flax with that F hook onto lax. And essentially, Joshua has already outlined a lot of the key nuances here. Let's see what he said. So he sent this question in. He says this is in the Collins Dictionary. So essentially, the key to his question is he says he could block that triple word score in the lower left corner, which you see right here. Now that's wide open after the play of 5. Or he could make a play that opens another triple word score on the board so that there are 2 of them. And the reason that he would do that is that he doesn't really have any very good plays through this E. So the fact that he doesn't have a great play through the E, he's thinking, well, should I just plop an O down in this spot? Or should I do something that opens up some other triple word score on the board so that when his turn comes around the next time, he'll have at least 1 out of the 2 open triple word scores available to him next turn. This is such a common theme in Scrabble. Okay, so really the only options that Joshua has here that really make any sense to me are he can take one of his O's and just plop it right down there alongside the E of 5 for 6 points. Or because he has so many vowels, he may say, well, I'm going to want to play more vowels than just one and play something like OE alongside the N and E of Vine. You could even play something like Uri if you want to spend 4 vowels on this turn. Okay, let's look at each move here. So clearly, playing the O in the corner of the board has the benefit of blocking easily the best scoring spot available on the board, and that is the triple word score in the lower left corner. The only drawback, of course, with a play like that is it leaves you with a lot of vowels. It leaves you with 4 vowels and 2 consonants. So that's where the other moves have a slight advantage over OE in the corner, is by playing more vowels off to leave Joshua in a better state for next turn. Both of these plays also have the attribute, as Joshua himself pointed out. You can see with this play, it opens up a possibility of playing down to the triple. And by the same token, playing something like Uri at the top of the board will open this triple in a way that obviously playing in one or the other of these triples is going to be available for Joshua next turn. There's no way for his opponent to block both of these spots on different parts of the board. So in this situation, what are some other things to think about to make your decision? If we go all the way back to Joshua's original decision, here are the things to think about. The score of the game. Joshua is up by 29 points in this situation. That's a solid amount, but you have to also consider, when you look at the score of the game, what is the state of the board? How likely is it that my opponent is going to score a lot of points on their next turn? And you can see in this situation, if Joshua were to simply play his O in the lower left corner of the board, the odds of his opponent scoring anything at all on his or her next turn are next to none. It's extremely difficult. So you can basically see that a 30-point lead in this situation is actually very solid. So another thing to think about is, what are the good tiles that have yet to be played? So when you look at the tiles that have yet to be played, there actually aren't that many total that score 4 or more points in this situation. So what are the high scoring tiles that haven't yet been played? Well, the Z is definitely one of the scary ones. That would be really bad news if Joshua's opponent had that and he left that spot open in the lower left corner. There's also a Q that's not very easy to use there without a lot of help from some of the other tiles, like a U. You basically would need to have a U and really good other tiles to use the Q in the lower left, but the K, the H, and the W are all threats. There's also a blank tile that still hasn't been played, 3 S's, a bunch of other good bingo tiles. So in addition to very high scoring plays that are likely to play in this spot, there is also an outside chance that with the absolute wrong rack for Joshua, his opponent could have a really amazingly strong play, of course, that goes to 2 triple word scores, a 9 timer, also known as a triple. That's a scary outcome for Joshua. That would basically allow his opponent to instantly win a game in which Joshua had full control. So you really are wanting to avert that however possible. So in this situation, I'm definitely leaning towards blocking the spot for that reason. There's enough high scoring tiles and enough chance of a really worst case scenario for Joshua's opponent to have a humongous play in this spot that I would really want to avoid that. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you again to Joshua for sending in such an interesting question for me to look at. As he said himself, in a casual game like this, it's often very fun just to leave those spots open and see if anything interesting happens in the game. I fully endorse that attitude. Kudos to Joshua for whatever move he made in that situation. He's thinking about the game in the right way. And if you would like to be featured on an episode of Doctor Scrabble, just make sure you're following the Scrabble Go Facebook groups, the official community groups. Look for my posts in other groups. And if you ever have a question about a move, what should I have done in this position, or just a general question about the game of Scrabble, I hope you won't hesitate to take a screenshot, write that question out to me, and I will do my best to answer it on a future episode. So thank you very much for watching, and hope to get more of your submissions in the future. See you later.